Hi, I'm Ella and I've just completed my architecture degree part 1 and I'm currently working in the design sector. So I'm going to be your tutor today for a lesson all about sustainability within product design in different industries. I know that when I was doing my GCSEs and A-levels, I wasn't convinced and didn't know to the extent that sustainable thinking would influence my decisions within design making, and so I think this is a really important thing that you should be learning, and I'm going to be giving you some great tips about sustainable design as well as some great examples of where this exists. So let's get started by thinking, what is sustainability? A lot of definitions of sustainability cover 3 main topic areas: people, the environment and the economy, or more easily remembered as people, planet, profit. It's important to think about your own views of sustainability and how that impacts your choices as a consumer in day-to-day life. This isn't to guilt trip you, just to get you thinking. So what I want you to do is write down or think of the last product that you bought online or in store. These are mine. So spend a few minutes thinking about the main criteria that made you make your decision of purchase. For example, cost, look, finish, quality. Have a think. So as a student, I'm always going to be considering cost and style, but recently I've been trying to make more conscious decisions, including switching to these trainers which incorporate recycled materials. So I'm just wondering if any of your thinking behind purchases included the effects on the environment or in fact the people making them, as it's really easy to buy without considering these factors. So within the fashion industry still, let's look at a product that we all are likely to have in our wardrobe: jeans. Watch the following clip and write down any notes of the negative effects on people or the environment that you can spot.
I've heard that water's wasted when clothes are made, but how? Only 3% of water is fresh water. And it seems we're using so much of it on the wrong things that we're preventing its use where it's most needed. I'm Grace and I love fashion. I'm finding out about sustainable fashion and how I can be a more responsible shopper. I need to find out how much water is used to make my clothes, so I'm going to the local pool to find Keith, an expert who works to improve resource efficiency. He should be able to tell me more about water being wasted in clothing production. How much water is being wasted in the fashion industry?
As the amount of water that's used in the fashion industry is huge. So for the clothes we buy in 1 year in the UK, we're talking around 5.5 billion cubic metres of water.
And how much water is wasted in a typical outfit?
A pair of jeans and a t-shirt, then that'll be between 20 and 40,000 litres of water, depending where in the world those were made. So to put that in context, there's enough water in this swimming pool to make about 40 pairs of jeans.
That's not many pairs of jeans, is it?
Not many pairs of jeans at all, and this is just one swimming pool. So the water demand around the world is phenomenal.
Why? Why are we wasting this much water?
It's the demand from the fibres that we're choosing. Cotton is one of the thirstiest crops that we produce in this planet, and then the pollution that's being caused to the fresh water after that.
Meeting Keith was really helpful. He basically told me that jeans use a lot of water, which is worrying because I'm pretty sure that everyone has a pair of jeans in their wardrobe, if not multiple. I'm starting to think that maybe we should just stop wearing jeans altogether. I'm going to go and meet with denim expert Morsin to find out more. So there's lots of chemicals that are used on jeans?
There's a lot of horrible chemicals, and actually indigo itself, this is like chemical indigo, is made with chemicals which are super poisonous. You know, these are chemicals that come from oil and you know, chemicals that you put in like rat poison.
Yeah, because my worry is when I wash my jeans and they've got chemicals, that then that's just going into the water and then that's just causing more of an impact.
Not many people wear raw jeans, or jeans that are like dark colours. So they most of the time will buy a pair that's already been washed in and it's already quite soft. So there have been chemicals put on that to make it more softer. You know, there's places in the Far East where the water table's literally crazily gone. You know, they can't even grow food now.
That's quite scary.
Yeah.
Have you seen sustainable solutions?
Yeah, there's loads of sustainable solutions, like organic cotton's one of them, but there's lots of more advances now. People are coming up with other types of fibres to mix with the cotton. They're actually slightly better solutions because you're not using as much cotton. So the future really is not using cotton at all.
Not using any cotton?
Yeah, I believe so now. Obviously, cotton's always going to be there.
In your heart?
Yeah, and I love cotton.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we know now that the amount of energy it uses up, the amount of water it uses up, it's not actually good. And because of fast fashion, more and more mills are opening up and more people are growing cotton. It's not good for the environment. So there has to be a stop somewhere.
So now, switching from a consumer to a designer's perspective, what role do we have as designers to think about sustainability? I know for myself, as a trainee architect, we have to be thinking about during the construction process and after completion, the effects that we can minimise on the environment. So for example, using solar heat gains to minimise thermal energy needed to heat a building. But it's not just architecture. Venturewell are a great organisation who are encouraging young innovators to consider sustainability throughout the life cycle of their products.
Sustainable design is more important than ever. We're at a point in our history where we've actually overshot the carrying capacity of the planet, and is having a hard time keeping up with all of the demands that we've placed on it.
In the past, we've designed for the part, and we have not necessarily considered the whole. We may not have considered how the design impacts the people, how it impacts the planet, what will happen at the end of life.
Sustainable design is good design. It is conscious, ethical, thoughtful, and responsible design. Sustainable design is where a designer is actually looking at the full life cycle of the product or service that they're working on. From raw materials to production, distribution to end of life.
Whether you're making a building or a car, or a brochure or a website, at every point where there's a decision-making opportunity, there's inputs and outputs, and there's choices to be made, and all the way along that cycle, you can affect change.
So let's get back to thinking about the jeans from earlier. Their impact needs to be considered all the way from material sourcing to end of life. This impact is called the life cycle assessment or analysis. Now, different companies might have slightly different variations on this, but they will more than likely contain 6 main stages. Raw materials, manufacturing, packaging, distribution, use, disposal or end of life. Think of it as the story of a product from the raw materials at the beginning to the disposal at the end. Have a go at a life cycle analysis of your own. You can use any product that you like. Let's have a look to see how the company that Grace visits are improving the sustainability of the jeans that they make.
It's safe to say that I've never seen so many pairs of jeans. Morsin mentioned some alternatives, so I'm on my way to meet Tom, who's creating jeans in a circular way. I want to see what that means, so I'm heading to Belgium.
So we know that cotton is pretty bad for the environment.
Yeah.
What should jeans be made out of instead of cotton?
Well, so that was the main idea behind what we're doing, is why not make use of the cotton that's already out there and reuse that cotton. So this is what the jeans looks like after you put it in the shredder. So this is the cotton again.
Which feels super soft.
Yeah. We then mixed these fibers with new fibers, because when you recycle cotton fibers, the fibers get a bit shorter. So you do add new fibers to get the required quality again. And therefore, out of circular design principles, we wanted to mix it with renewable materials, also biological materials. So we chose to use tencel, and it's made from wood pulp. So
wood
out
pulp.
of trees. So this yarn is made in Belgium out of 50% recycled old jeans and 50% tencel. So that way we've taken out the hazardous chemicals. We managed to create a new denim fabric, which is also a healthy fabric. And then at the end of the day, when it's completely worn out or doesn't fit anymore, we want consumers to send back the jeans.
And it's know that it's all recyclable, so it makes it easier for you to repurpose your own jeans.
Then we can just put it in the recycling loop and make it back into the fibers and then back into the yarn and start all over again. Our pair of jeans uses 6,000 liters of water less compared to regular jeans.
Okay. So I've just come back from Belgium and I absolutely loved how passionate Tom was about his jeans. I honestly didn't even know circular design was possible when it came to fashion. Now what I really want to do is talk to someone who owns multiple pairs of jeans, like my sister. How many pairs of denim jeans do you own, Amelia?
I own 2 jackets and 5 pairs of jeans, but I didn't know denim was bad. So denim wastes a lot of water.
Yeah, a lot of water. Also, when you wash your jeans, you're wasting a lot of water. Do you wash them a lot as well?
Yeah, because they go baggy.
And that's because they're bad quality.
Oh.
Yeah. I guess we just need to wash our clothes less.
Yeah.
We need to buy less denim.
Yeah.
We need to maybe look at buying alternatives, but they are expensive.
Yeah.
And if we are going to buy an item of denim jeans, we need to make sure that they last longer.
Good quality.
Yeah, good quality. And we love them.
Yeah. Well, I've learned a lot.
You and me both.
I feel bad now.
No, but I think we all need to learn about this.
That's true, that's true. Good to have the discussion.
Definitely.
Now that's a great example of making more sustainable decisions throughout the product's life cycle, including material sourcing and eventual recycling at the end of the product's life. Now with that in mind, go and have a look back at your life cycle analysis and think about how you could make your product more sustainable. You might find it helpful to use the terms reduce, reuse, recycle. So for example, how can I reduce the environmental impact of my trainers through the packaging phase? So far we've mainly thought about the environmental impact of sustainability, but now let's think about the social impact, and that's that on people. Have a look at this video and see how it affects the individuals shown in the production of a smartphone.
20 years ago, we couldn't imagine the existence of a smartphone, and now we can't live without one. But our constant demand for newer and better phones has a huge impact on the environment. And by huge, we mean really huge. Let me show you the hidden impact of the smartphone industry and how Fairphone is acting to change that. Let's start with some crazy facts. Did you know more people have access to a smartphone than a working toilet? The population of mobile devices has exceeded the human population, reaching more than 8 billion. Say what? The average lifetime of these smartphones is about 2 to 3 years. And only 20% of these smartphones get recycled. This contributes to making e-waste the world's fastest growing waste stream. And that's not all. As you may know, smartphones contain dozens of different materials, such as gold, silver, and copper. Very fancy, I know, but many of these minerals enter the supply chain straight from the mines. That's where it starts feeling less fancy. From dangerous working conditions and child labor to poor wages and pollution. The mining sector can have its share of social and environmental challenges. So there's a big chance the materials in your smartphone were extracted in bad or even inhumane conditions. Some of the minerals you'll find inside smartphones, such as tin, tungsten, and tantalum, are even classified as conflict minerals. And buying those materials is directly financing those conflicts. This has to change. Now you know more about the smartphone materials and where they normally come from. So let's take a closer look at the amount of recycled smartphones. Every year, consumers throw away millions of mobile phones. And when that happens, we're literally throwing away gold, and cobalt, and tin, and dozens of other resources that have years, decades, or even centuries of life left in them. What a shame. But now the big question. Why don't more of us recycle our smartphones since there are so many valuable minerals inside? Well, they are designed for use, but not for reuse or recycling. That's why it's hard to open them, or repair them, or remove broken parts. No surprise, this all centers on earning more financial profit, and that creates an endless cycle of demanding and consuming more and more. There are many reasons for smartphone owners to replace their phones. As soon as something better comes along, like a better camera or longer-lasting battery, current phones are discarded. But all this doesn't mean it can't be different, because it can. Our goal is that customers should keep a smartphone as long as possible, repairing modules if needed, or even upgrading some modules. Most of the parts can eventually be recycled, reused, or upgraded in an infinite closed loop where the life of a product is near an end. This lets us think in terms of resources rather than waste. Of course, our phone also needs to be manufactured and assembled. So how do we improve the conditions of those workers? We have collaborated with our supplier who assembles our phones to pay a living wage bonus, increase worker representation, health and safety. And what about the materials themselves? Fairphone uses responsibly sourced and conflict-free tin and tungsten, recycled copper and plastics, fair trade gold, and integrated fair cobalt. Good for people and planet. By buying new smartphones every year, we keep maintaining the current toxic, polluting, and cruel smartphone industry. So please, think twice when you want to buy a new phone. Do you really need a new phone? The truth is, the most sustainable phone is the one in your pocket. Make it last. And if you're in the market for a new one, Fairphone is your sustainable alternative.
Now revisit your life cycle analysis and think about all the people involved at each stage of design and manufacture. Are they benefiting negatively or positively? Designers and manufacturers have a great responsibility to consider this, and let's have a look at how Fairphone addresses this within their process of production. So to finish up today, I'm going to show you some great examples of where designers have approached sustainability within their product design. And while you're watching these videos, make a note of some of the great strategies used.
When you look at how many shoes Adidas produces per year, every gram counts. If we can reduce just a few grams per shoe, we could make a tremendous difference. To move forward, we always need to question everything we do.
The start of all this is actually our passion to create and manufacture products in new ways by considering our environment. The element range is all about simplicity. It's about reducing and simplification, but at the same time considering the needs of the athlete.
Beauty lies in simplicity, and we really wanted to create something that was intuitive. We scrutinized everything on the shoe. We questioned everything.
Reducing the amount of material what we use on the shoe without compromising the performance was one of the biggest challenges we faced during the creation process.
But with challenges come opportunity, and this as a designer is extremely exciting. because you can do something that has never previously been done. Through this creative journey, we've figured out ways of reducing in our entire collection.
The main learning has been for me the growing belief how much opportunities are still out there to make a difference. For every performance product, there's always room to improve further. The element range is just the start of a long journey.
Now before our next tutorial, I'd like you to go away and research a brand, company, product, anything of interest to you that's incorporating sustainability within its design, and make a note of your research. Bye!